Hey, what's going on? I'm just doing a quick video based on declassified CIA documents that are available online and about the Korean War. And so the sort of story that you can piece together, which isn't often told and sounds like a conspiracy theory, is that the CIA had a plan to associate the People's Army of North Korea, who they considered almost fully the government and the regime of North Korea, with the Soviet Union. And this is against associating the People's Republic of Korea just with Korea or with China. And so the way that the CIA may have managed part of this strategy, the most preferable case was to work alongside the Maoist government and basically promise China that you will be more or less left alone and to work independently. But the condition of this is you allow us to wage this war in Korea alongside the South Koreans uninterrupted. So why is this pretty brutal as the first most preferable outcome of this? Well, because what it looks like is what ends up following from this, once you say we have this geopolitical position and you have the most unabashed forms of realism in the 1950s, what happens is the United States, and this is also true of North Koreans and the Soviets to some extent, wage a war that's based on starvation. They wage a war that's based on starvation, and they support or largely ignore the Maoist regime doing the same within China to establish and consolidate the newer forms of government. So what happens with this? Well, we see in the war that there's a mutual signaling with the level and almost the lack of democratic reciprocity that happens in the early stages of the war, saying, look what we can do. This is what happens. And this is also the designation that you receive as a leader if you associate yourself with the Soviet Union. We're basically saying that this is a bipolar world, and this is the way we manage it. There's no other powers in the world. This is what happens. And so, as you start sort of asking, if you see this as almost like a pool of liquid, and if you were in the CIA, what could you say back to this? How would you actually analyze this or break this down? What would the people who are operationalizing this in an optimal scenario see? And if it's a pool of liquid, well, if North Korea is a pool of liquid, what happens is you slowly chunk and break pieces off. You make it more and more difficult to work within the organization. The perception of everything is just that any step forward is also a mark of 5 or 6 steps back. And if you're winning, and if you're actually winning for the nation state, you're also losing at the same time. And it's not really effective. It's difficult to see it in a non-mechanistic, non-kinetic way. And so the assumption is that you have to go over these things. You have to go over these things. Yeah, that's the video.